So today I'm going to show how to cite a paper in Chicago style, which is the style that is used in history papers. So for a good resource, you can go to Google and type in Purdue OWL Chicago style, and it will come up with the Chicago Manual of Style 16th edition. Click on that page, and for some general things about Chicago style, you can click on the left-hand side on General Format. So for the paper, it is typically a 1-inch margin, but don't go lower than 1 inch or greater than 1.5 inches. For your font, it has to be readable, so make sure you use something like Times New Roman, or you can use other fonts that are not cursive or super complicated, but Times New Roman is most often used. The font size cannot be smaller than a 10-point font, but it's preferred that you use a 12-point font. Your text should be double spaced unless it's a block quote, the title for a table, or a figure or a caption, and those can be single spaced. There are two different types of citations actually for your paper, which is notes and bibliography. So you have footnotes, and then you have the bibliography at the end of the paper. There's also, you have to have page numbers on your papers, and those go in the top right hand corner. Those are not on the title page or the bibliography, but any page that is the actual text. And then some other things, you would have a subheading for a longer paper, and you can put an extra line space before and after subheadings. So to move on, we're going to look at the sample paper. So you would click on this, which I already have open over here, and to go over some of the basics. This is what a title page looks like. Your title goes about 1/3 of the way down the page. And then this just has one title, but if there's a subtitle, you would put a colon at the end right here, and then your subtitle goes right under that. You go a little bit more down the page, you will add your name, the class you're in, and then the date. And then moving on to the first page of text, you can see there is this page number at the top right-hand corner in the heading. Some things to note: a footnote, which I will show you how to do in a second, is superscripted up in the top. So it's put up here, and here's a second one down here. They go in numerical order in just the way that you enter them in. Again, I'll show that in a second. Some things to notice here where the footnotes end up. So they're superscripted up there. You can look down here for the citation. It is first name, last name, and then you use commas. If it is an article, put it in quotations, and then the name of the journal would be in italics. So if it's just a book, it is italicized. And then you put where it was published, who it was published by, the year, and then the page number that you looked at. So some things that are different from the bibliography, which we'll look at, is that it is first name, last name. There's a lot of commas used instead of periods in the footnote citation. And also, you put the specific page number that you got the source from, not all of the page numbers that are in that source. So again, you can see there's 1-inch margins. If you are using the same source in a row, you can use IBID, which means this is the same source from David Harvey. And this means it's the exact same page as used before. And this is the same source, but they used a different page that time. And then going down even further, down all the way through the paper to the bottom, we're going to look at the bibliography. So you put the title bibliography. Looking down here, it is last name first, and you can see there's a period used instead of a comma. Again, italics for books, but you would use quotation for a journal article, and then you would put the name of the journal in italics. You can see that there is none of the brackets down here, so you do lay it out a little bit differently, which you can also see on the Purdue OWL site, and the year goes at the end. If it was a journal article, you do put the page numbers in there. And again, it's not just one specific page, it would be the pages of the article, so pages 1 through 20, maybe 10 through 38, however long the article is. If not, usually ends right here with the date. And that is pretty much it for the basics of Chicago style. It can get pretty complicated in looking at, but again, a good source to look at would be that Purdue OWL site, and it's very accessible for any style of citation that you are using.